Hello and welcome back to my channel. Again, if I'm talking in a monotone voice, it's about 11 p.m. here and everybody's asleep, and so I've realized that this is the time of the day that I can actually film without my dog being interrupted. And so anyway, on that note, it's October 31st, almost in an hour it will be. And so that means we're starting a new month of, for the year. So what I've been doing is I've been using a traveler's notebook to document my journal. So I use about one notebook per month. And it's just kind of something that I've worked out over the course of the year, because I started out basically I didn't start out using these particular designs, because these are the ones that I have in my shop. This is the artwork, and so I really wanted to. I eventually worked it out where I would start a new book every month. So it's really worked out really good, and so what I wanted to do is come on and show you guys how I make, because in my shop they just come like this. They're a cover with like 110 cardstock, and then this is 28-pound paper. So it's just blank paper on the inside. But what I like to do is create them into junk journals, and which is adding little bits and pieces of cardstock in here. So that's what I'm going to show you guys how I do today. Now, my idea is, because I've been doing some shows, and of course I show an example of how I like to journal and document, and I have a lot of people asking the same. They would like to do this as well. And then sometimes when I'm like, oh, it's so easy, you just do this and you just do that, and I get this blank stare like, well, now what? So I think I'm going to start offering these as junk journals, probably in the new year. As either you can get it plain white paper, or you can get it with cardstock and maybe some little embellishments to go with it. Now, on that note, I wanted to show you, I do offer, and I think I have videos on all of this too, but it's been a while, but I do offer, usually periodically throughout the year, journals, junk journals, and I'll show you real quick what they look like. And again, these are things that you can do at home as well, especially if you have like a journal or you have a traveler's notebook that you like to use, and you can add different bits and pieces. So this is kind of like something that I already have pre-made, but I only do typically like spring, summer, and Christmas and fall. But they come with little bits and pieces of ephemera that you can use throughout, but it also has the same concept of the cardstock. But I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. So if you do have a journal or something that you want to add, or if by chance you buy one of these, then you can make it yourself. But so on that note, I wanted to show you real quick how I make them. And again, I think I've done a video on this before, so if you've watched it, maybe you'll find something else. This is going to be a real quick video that maybe you can pick up another, because I can't really exactly remember, but I know my sister, she said, oh, I found the video on how to make those junk journals, and I was like, oh, cool. So anyway, what I like to do is pick out paper, of course, cardstock, and this particular one I'm going to use a little bit different bits and pieces, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Anna Green Gables book. I know that it says on the front, I'm so glad we live in a world of Octobers, and actually this kind of came out in October, but last year. But I love her. I think she looks very autumnal and almost kind of pilgrim-like. So for us here in the States, it works perfectly with the month of November being Thanksgiving. So when I have put these together, they're going to have two staples that run on the seam of the fold. Now I call this a bone folder, but I know that it can be, I think they call it like an envelope folder or something. I've had this one for many, many years, and I've bought two other ones because this one I constantly am misplacing. So I use this because it helps create a nice crease in the fold, and that way you're able to fit a little bit more. You don't get quite the bulk in at the folding when you use this to run against it. So in my stack here, I'll put these together because I'll show you just a little bit how I plan on doing this month's. But I pick out, this is actually a napkin. So I'm going to use this. I saw my sister do this in one of her journals, and I was like, I'm going to do that in my next journal. So this is a napkin. I love the colors of it. And then I pick out 4 different size cardstock. And now typically what I do is I do double-sided because I like to use the other side, but that's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can get the one-sided, and also a lot of times like the paper that you get at like Hobby Lobby that are real thin, that are only one-sided, then you can actually fit more of those in without having too much of the bulk. But again, this is a junk journal, so I like having a big chunky journal at the end. Here's one that I'm going to show you real quick too, but it's a little bit chunky. And then let me show you the one from this month. I just love this month. I have some wording that I need to do, but this is from October, so it's a nice big chunky journal. So on that note, the other thing I was going to bring out is like magazines, but instead of me using a magazine in pieces in here, I'm going to show y'all this ephemera pack that I got when I was in Warrington, which if you're not familiar with Warrington, it's here in Texas. It comes twice a year. It's called Round Top, and it's a huge antique junk. I mean, we're talking miles and miles and miles of it. And I found the vendor that I absolutely loved. She was full of paper products, and I actually had shopped her stuff at a shop that we have here in our local little store, but she had pulled out of that store, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to go in there and buy her stuff all the time. And then I found her out there. It was just like perfect. So anyway, I bought this pack from her, but it is so fun. It's full of like tags and music sheets, book pieces, little just, you know, odds and ends, interesting kind of paper. But anyway, I'm going to use just little bits and pieces of what's in here, for one, because I haven't really opened it, and I love that orange. And then I also liked this right here. I love that piece. So actually maybe I'll use this one. Anyway, just really and truly to kind of give you guys an idea of what different kind of things you can use. There's just really endless possibilities in creating these books. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a book page and that one. And I think this music sheet is going to be almost too wide. I guess I could cut off the edges, but I may just use that in another, or is it cut in half? Oh, it's cut in half. So we could use it. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see, so we have a couple of things. I'm going to save these little tags for, this is something you can use actually like inside, and I'll show you that once we get these put together. So, okay. So basically, when I get the book, it has the 2 staples, and I would just take a staple puller and remove those out. There are 10 sheets in here. I only use 8, so just because that just kind of helps me create less bulk. So I would take out 2, which I've already done that on here. So I have 8 sheets of folded white paper and my cover, and they're just loose like that. So basically what I'll do is kind of come in here. I'm going to fold these. I've already done that. I've already kind of cut these down, and I don't have any particular size that I do. I just kind of randomly cut on the on my paper cutter. Oh, I didn't want to use that. These are kind of fun. Like I always kind of include a smaller piece, which usually goes in the center. But I just want to kind of show you. See how when you fold it regular, it leaves kind of like a, you know, a little pocket in there. But if you have your little bone folder, I mean, it like really gets it flat. So that's why I use this all the time. And let's see here, the orange. Now with the orange, oops, I'm not going to want it to be as wide, so I'm just cut that much, folded it like that, and then I'm just going to cut it right here. And actually, my paper cutter, let's see if I can get to it. Oops. Okay. So you have all these fabulous, wonderful pieces of paper that you can add to your book. So I'm just going to start randomly adding these in. And now when you're putting the papers, if by chance you have one that's got a print on it that it matters if it's up or down, be sure to take note of that so that you don't end up having it upside down. Now, if you do, it's a junk journal, so I think it would probably be fine. But if it bothers you, which it kind of bothers me, so actually it bothers me a lot, but then you would want to, like this particular notes, putting that in the right. So I'm just, sometimes I do like every other, or I do every two, and then I add more. Do that. I love this coffee paper. I didn't have much left. I did actually do junk journals with some coffee paper, and I just sold my last one a few weeks ago. So I had some extra paper left over. Okay, so I think that's it. I may not be able to fit everything in there. Actually, I'm going to double this one up, because I think this one I may end up gluing that together, and I may just have it as a fun little texture piece in there, not necessarily glue anything on it. So we didn't have room for this. I wonder if we could like double it, some of these up a little bit. Oh, there's one that didn't have a... Okay. So we have those. Nice, big, chunky, thick book. So basically, I'm just kind of straightening it up. Make sure it's all edged out. Now you can see some of it sticks out a little bit. I think it's because I've added more fluff than what I typically normally do, so I may take out a couple of pieces. I usually don't mind, because a lot of times I come in here and add like material and stuff, and I'm okay with it. So let's go ahead and staple it and see what it looks like. Now, the thing with the staple, I'll show you my stapler. I have this actual stapler I got off of Amazon. Was it Amazon? Yes. It's like a $40 stapler, but especially if you're making these and you're using these, I highly suggest this, because it makes it so much easier for me if you staple your notebooks. I know you can sew them. I know there's other ways that you can bind them, but this is what I prefer. But if you're not going to be doing this very often, you know, like if you don't want to spend the money to get one, you can use the concept of putting an eraser down, and I'll show you. I don't have a stapler. I've lost mine in the move, and I've yet to buy one. I know that sounds crazy, but I'll show you that idea. So with this one, I always have mine measured up here so that I already know where to add it up. And you want to make sure that you flush your pages. Everything is as tight as it can go, you know, edgewise. fold it again. That way you know that everything is kind of like straight and ready to go. Now if you staple it and it's wrong, you can easily unstaple it again. Okay, so then I kind of lean over and I just make sure it's lined up, and then I staple. Then I'm ready for this side. Now when I make them into junk journals, when they're just by themselves without all the fun fluffy different papers in there, I only add 2 staples. But when I add all the fluff, I add 3. And basically what I do, you can measure it out, but I'm a random girl, so I mean eyeball, or like, you know, I fill my staples underneath here and I kind of match them up to where you get the center. And there you have it. All stapled together. Now, if you don't want to, because you're not going to be doing this very often, or, you know, maybe even if you just make one a month, it may not be, you know, your ideal to go and buy the stapler. So basically you get an eraser like, you know, those long pink erasers, you know, from school. You get one of those and you pop open your stapler. Like, say, you know, your staples like this, you can open it up, and you know how they do the bulletin boards. You can basically open this up. You put the eraser down, so the eraser is going to be on the back side here, and you open that stapler and you staple into the eraser, and then you turn it over and you pull the eraser over, and then you can fold down your staple. So that's the other option if you don't have the stapler. So okay, so, and there you have your total junk journal put together. See how it's very simple, but so fun. I just love it. I love having a new journal. It's so exciting to start. Now, that's pretty much what I wanted this video to be about, but I'm going to show you a couple more things before I close up. So, the one thing that I was going to show you was the tag. One of the things I like to do with these big tags, or any kind of tag really, is you can, like, say for instance, I know I talked about wanting to do this like for material. You can add, you know, some twine up here or ribbon and glue it in here, or you can glue it in here, or you can make it a tip-in, which is typically what I may do. So I'm going to kind of just show y'all real quick how to kind of do adding a little something up front, you know, nothing that that way you have, you know, you're ready to go for day one. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to do something a little bit different than I have been the last few months in my journaling. So you know, I have this buffalo plaid, which to me it's autumn. I think it looks really good, and it's sitting right here. It's perfect. So I'm just gonna tip this little guy in. And what I mean by tipping, you basically just I looked it up, or I saw it online. Oops, I saw it either on a YouTube channel or something. But a tip-in was basically when they used to make books and they would add something, or I understood it as to change something up, but sorry, I don't have, my vision is starting to change drastically over the last few months, and I'm having to, I think I'm going to have to get me some readers, so, because I'm having issues seeing up close now. I have issues seeing far away, but now I'm really starting to have issues from seeing close up. But anyway, that's not why, I got off topic. But anyway, they use it to like tip in, like add extra pages in, and that's exactly what this is. My understanding was that if you were to correct it, but then I'm like, maybe that's not what they meant. I probably need to look that up again and really understand. But for us journalers, a tip-in is adding an extra little page in there to add some documentation, or you can add pictures. Like that. perfect. And then it just flips open like that. It just kind of tips in there, and then you can add your pictures, or you can add, like I have a little little Anna Green Gables. I can add her in there. She kind of goes with the front. Maybe put a quote, Bible verse, something like that. Which, if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I do post some of my pictures as I work on them. I mean, in my journal. So that kind of gives you an idea. I think I'm going to start doing some flip throughs at the end of the month, just to kind of give like a follow up. Okay. There we go. Then we are going to add, wish I had my, I love these paper clips that have this material. Because sometimes I just say, well, I want this material in my journal. I'll add it to the front here. Maybe a little too thick. Let me cut it in half here. Isn't that pretty? I actually ordered these from a company on Etsy, and what's fun is called the Paper Journal. I think it's the_paper. I'll find the link and leave it below. But she's got some great stuff to add to your journal, some embellishments, and what I love about it is she'll put together a whole set of paper clips, and they all match, and they work out perfect, and they're not expensive, and they're really, really pretty material. And there, so you already have an addition to your journal. And to me, I love having things stick out, especially material. One other thing that I've been adding in here is these are from Susan Branch. I ordered them online off at Amazon years ago, and I actually looked at it the other day to see if I could find them again, because I love them so much, and I have one for each month. And I'm still kind of piecing them together. I have a few that are missing, but I'm going to as soon as I get them, I'm putting them in a spot that I know, so that way I can, because I love adding these. Of course, I could change, but I think they're great for at the beginning of the month to kind of write yourself a little note to yourself, just to kind of say, hey, this is where I'm at, or this is what's going on this month. It's just kind of a kickoff to the month, kickoff like note to yourself. So I did that. I've been doing that, and I'll show you real quick this last month's and how I'm going to kind of change up my documentation. So, okay, so this month, and again, I'm still writing in notes, but this was one I had lost October, so I used the November, but I then dolled it up with some little flakes and some stickers. But this month, what I did was I started out my week at a glance. I posted that a couple times on Instagram, but basically it's just starting out a week, and then I wanted to fill in kind of like actually just writing in different ideas or different dates or things to remember. And then actually I wanted to come, I'm not big on white spaces, but if I have a chance to come back in, I want to fill in a little bit more stuff. And I did that throughout the month. See here, like this one's full. Like this one makes me happy. Like I feel comfortable saying, okay, that page is done. And then, like here's another one. And I'll show you this week's, which is here. So, yeah, there's a couple more things in my head that I want to get down on paper. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to I don't think I'm going to do it this way, and I'll tell you why. Not that I don't love doing it, but I think I'm going to approach this month a little bit different, like I did this month. So in this one, and the reason I'll tell you behind my thought process here. This was before I started using one per month. So this one started actually in February. But each day I wrote, and I just found it really, really difficult for me to sometimes do this because, you saw in the other one that sometimes I try to write it at the end of the night, but it's usually really late, and early in the morning I'm rushing, and during the day I don't have time too much, or like where I want to just sit down and really, really write. So, but this, I think I'm going to do this way for my November. And the reason I say that is because November is, for me, actually gratitude and thankfulness should be year-round, but especially this time of the year is with the holidays coming up and being with family and, just that warm, cozy feel of November, and we have Thanksgiving, so that's kind of what I want to do for the month is really kind of make time to journal every day like I did here. So so that's what my plan is here. I found my stamp that says "So Very Thankful," and so I would love to be, what my whole thought process is to maybe start each day with why I'm so thankful, and do that throughout the month of November, and as part of Thanksgiving here. So that's it. That's my thought process for the month of November. October was a whirlwind. September was pretty much a whirlwind. The weather here has finally cooled off, so I'm so excited and happy about that. But I'm ready for things to kind of slow down a little bit, and for me just to take a deep breath and enjoy the holidays. So anyway, well, I appreciate you guys stopping by, or stepping in. What are we doing here? I appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. And my next video, I hope to come out in the next day or two. It'll probably be next week because I'm going to be going out of town for a show this weekend. But I'm going to be doing my Christmas planning, so how I'm going to decorate that up. So I'll do that online. I did it last year as well, but so I'll be doing that in my next video. All right, thanks for watching.